Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Clinton still, and I'm here today to talk about depression and faith. All right, so first I want to say is I'm not a clinician, so my description of depression and talking about it is just purely from my own personal experience and my own faith and how I relate to it. So with that said, is everybody's suffered some sort of depressive episode at some point in their life. So that's normally when you feel sluggish, tired, not really interested in anything. You want to just sleep a lot. You want to stay indoors. Typically, you're not as social, things like that. So I refer to depression as a storm, if you will. There's a bunch of different things going on, so it's a swarm of different things, swirling around. So one of the descriptions that I've heard about when it comes to depression is normally when something negative happens to you in your life, I think of a single negative event. Sometimes that just is a simple fracture, but when you have a bunch of different things going wrong at the same time, it can create this depressive episode. It's like a compound fracture on a bone. So a bone breaks into a bunch of different pieces. You can still heal it, but it just takes a lot more effort and time to kind of heal and go through it. So I wanted to talk about how it is that you navigate through these depressive storms and tap into your faith, and or for me it's my spirituality, to be able to make it through. So first I want to use an example of a depressive storm that I went through. So I went through homelessness, and so in 2015 I had started a trading company, and so went on the long story short, I lost a lot of money, pretty much everything. And so I was on the verge of homelessness, never actually did it. So last year, though, I launched my own company. And so, I hit a bit of financial issues for a bunch of different reasons. But just recently, I went homeless. So I do have a video on my channel detailing, it was like a two-part process. But the first part of the process, I have a video on my YouTube channel called Homelessness and Faith, where I talked about it, right? And then the second part is, as part of my financial recovery process, I actually decided to voluntarily go homeless. So, homelessness in itself is a depressive experience. Trust me. There's a lot that I can share about it and talk about. At some point, I'll record videos. There's a lot of different things that I learned during that experience, but that's neither here nor there. But the main thing was, I focused on how I was so frustrated that my financial situation led me to homelessness, among, other things. And so it was dealing with the day-to-day crap of being homeless, as well as trying to pull yourself out. Those things are very, very burdening. They burden on your spirit, and it's very hard to continue fighting forward when you've got all of these different things going on. So when it comes to tapping into your faith, is understanding that the storm in itself is something that God wants you to make it through. So he wants you to be able to go inward and talk to him and spend time with him, so that he can order your steps and then get you to get through the storm. Now, getting through the storm is not going to be easy, but there's going to be steps that God wants you to take so that you can learn various lessons. So while you're going through the storm, you pray and you meditate, and you figure out what it is that you need to do or what alterations and changes that he wants you to make. And then also, once you get out of the storm, there's wisdom at the end. So for example, I can say that the wisdom that I gained was not to be overly generous. So I'm a Christian, and so Christian faith is you should be generous and help your neighbor, things like that. But I was overly generous, and so that was my particular lesson to learn. And then also in praying before lending out money. So there's talks about karma and things like that. So if you help out somebody who's actually going through negative karma, you kind of take their karma on. So again, before lending out money, just pray to God, make sure that that's what he wants you to do with it, because he may not necessarily want that person to have money because they need to learn a lesson. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So that's another piece of wisdom that I gained from that experience. But ultimately, is whenever you are going through a season of depression, right, there are typically changes that you need to make. And so the last revelation and point of wisdom is that those people that did me financially dirty, God did not want them in my life anymore. So he wanted me to open my eyes and say, hey, look, this is what this person is capable of doing to you. So again, is when you're praying to God to order your steps and you're executing on his wisdom, That's how you can make it through your depressive storm, and then also learn so that you can help give that information out to others, like I'm doing right now. And then also for your next depressive storms. I can say that the knowledge that I had when I went into my homeless depressive storm had an accumulation of knowledge and wisdom that I accumulated from my other depressive storms. And so the more depressive storms that you go through, the more wisdom that you collect. So either you consume wisdom from learning from other people, or you go through your own personal storms and you collect wisdom. But ultimately, that's how you can use your own inner faith to help guide you through your depressive storms, and then help navigate and make sure that you are now walking closer to God as you get out of the storm, versus prolonging your time in the storm by effectively being lost. So I say that I do offer spiritual life coaching sessions. It's in the description. So if you are looking to sharpen your faith, or if you feel lost and you are looking for somebody who can help coach you into sharpening your faith, or even can help offer you helpful insights in your depressive storm, I'd love to coach you. So go ahead and hit that link if you're interested. And thankfully, you guys have learned something from the video. So go ahead and hit that like button if you liked it. And I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.